In recognition of excellence in community colleges for teaching, learning, and leadership, the League for Innovation in Community Colleges have recently launched at the League's Innovations 2013 conference here in Dallas, the John and Suanne Roueche Excellence Awards. And these awards are named for two icons in the field of community college and higher education who have made invaluable contributions to the field. And so I am delighted to be here with Dr. John Roueche to talk a little bit about the history and the context and the impact that teaching excellence and the recognition of that excellence has had in the field. And so, Dr. Roueche, could you share with us a little bit about the history and the context of how Teaching Excellence Awards were developed by you and Dr. Suanne as far back as 1989?
George Baker, thank you, Gerardo. George Baker and I conducted a national study of teachers in community colleges who had been recognized by their home colleges for teaching excellence. And we wrote a book called Teaching is Leading, and we invited all of those participants, about 1,000 in that 1989 study, to come and be recognized with teaching excellence medallions. That's how it started, and the motivation was really to provide recognition for people who had really worked with us in the study. But it was also a way, maybe for the very first time, that anyone, certainly at a national level, had ever thought about honoring our best and most dedicated teachers.
Well, and I imagine that has just had an amazing impact on these recipients, and not just them, but their colleagues, their families, and so forth. And on that note, I can only imagine that there are thousands of highlights of recognizing teaching excellence and the incredibly important work that our faculty, staff, and leaders do every day in community colleges. So could you talk just a little bit about a few of those highlights that you may have fond memories of?
Yeah, the first year we presented teaching excellence medallions, we really were thinking this would be a joyous moment and people would be happy and uplifting and joking about it. But as we presented the first awards, husbands were there, wives were there, deans were putting medallions on the shoulders of these folks. And within about 2 minutes, there was not a dry eye among the recipients. And Suanne and I and George Baker, who was with me on the study, thought, what in the world is going on with all of this emotion? I mean, the outpouring of emotion was something I'd not seen in years and years and years. And it occurred to us it was the very first time for most of these faculty that anyone had ever officially recognized them, thanked them for the tremendous contribution they make to our colleges, to our students, and to our communities.
Well, I believe that's so powerful, and particularly these days when community colleges are really under more scrutiny for greater accountability, that to be recognized and to be honored for the work that is truly very difficult work on a day-to-day basis is really something that we need to remember is critically important for our faculty and our staff. So we certainly honor and recognize that you have been doing this for quite a long time and are thrilled about that. So Dr. Roueche, what impact then do you believe these awards have had on the field and for those who have been recognized, but not just for them, but also for their institutions?
I think it's a terrific recognition of the quality work that community colleges do across the country. I've been to 1,300 colleges and universities, as you know. It's a world record, and it's heartening. It's motivating to me to be in a college for the fall convocation and see the faculty walk in and the Excellence Medallion Award winners proudly wearing their Teaching Excellence Awards, or to walk into an office of a faculty member and there is an award they've received from their home institution, maybe as well. So it means a lot, and it's sad in so many ways to think that so many of our faculty, and not just community college faculty, but high school faculty and the like, who work with our students every day rarely have anybody put their picture in the paper or have a celebration award for them. So it's a powerful motivator, and I think, as we both know, all of higher ed is under great scrutiny these days, great criticism these days. We're told that attrition rates are atrocious. Well, these terrific teachers don't have atrocious attrition, and we need to be learning from their experience and from their examples and broadening their impact in all of our colleges.
So Dr. Roueche, what do you see as some of the progressive benefits of these excellence awards, but also, as you talked about earlier, of continuing to recognize our faculty and staff for the tremendous contributions that they're making?
I think it's important to continue this, and not just with faculty, Gerardo, but with all the staff. I had a session yesterday, and I was pointing out that if the faculty are the heart of the college, and having been a faculty member most of my life, I can relate to that metaphor, but the staff may very well be the soul of the college. Staff members convey the critical first impression of that institution, whether it's the telephone operators or security, the admissions office, orientation. All of those folks convey a critical first impression for the college. And if that is not a positive first impression, those students are likely to withdraw and go someplace else. So I think every work group in an institution, the administration all the way to the ground crew, need to be eligible for recognition for the quality work they do, not just for showing up, but for the quality effort they make in helping students. They're not just there to mow the yard, but to help students, and realize that the pride the community has in that college is a function of how that institution looks and behaves.
We know that the first 100 years of community colleges it's really had a primary focus on access. You know, we're the open door institution. We are democracy's college with regard to our student body and who we serve and support. But we know now in our next 100 years of service to our communities and students that there has been somewhat of a shift. We have, with leadership mandates from the U.S. Department of Education, from our federal agencies, from a number of the most powerful foundations that are supporting and investing in our work, and also in higher education in general who are coming on board. We're making a shift to priorities in student success and completion and credentials. But you know, part of the swirling conversations that we're having nationally also place emphasis on, while we're moving towards ensuring our students complete and that our students are successful, that we don't lose that critical value on access, particularly with the increasing diversity of students that are coming to our community college open doors. And so could you speak a little bit about that phenomena and the importance to balance completion, access, and student success in the future?
Sure. I think many of those listening to this conversation will remember that it was after World War II, with the return of the veterans, the passing of the GI Bill, but then in the 1960s, the civil rights movement, the women's movement. I mean, all of these activities that brought back to college hundreds of thousands of young men and women who, before World War II, probably would never given thought to go into college. The Truman Commission said we've really got to have colleges to prepare people for skills beyond high school. And so the community colleges were created really to establish equity, opportunity, fairness for thousands, hundreds of thousands of people coming back. But as you said, today it is the point of entry for the great majority of students of color, of returning women, and more returning veterans. And so people are saying, well, it's one thing to have access, it's another thing to have opportunity, but how well are the students doing when they come in? I've had legislators ask me for years, are there other institutions, public institutions, that mirror a similar philosophy or mission to the Open Door Community College? And I refer them to the emergency rooms,
Right,
or
right.
the intensive care units,
Sure.
because we're taking students who didn't finish high school, students who have no idea what they're going to do. And so our faculty and our staff have to be so much better today and equipped and trained with professional development and so forth to move dramatically toward better course completion rates, better graduation rates, and we're going to have to do that. But our faculty many times have not had the preparation to deal with the intensity of difficulties that you sometimes find with today's students. So it's a major challenge, but we must not close the door, as some people have suggested.
Well, and all along the way, I think it's also an important lesson that we continue to recognize and honor those who are in the trenches, who are taking on this incredible responsibility to teach an ever-increasing diversity of students, and with that comes increasing diversity of needs. And so it's not an easy job. It's a job of
Sure.
values and connectivity, and as you helped to start in 1989, the incredible recognitions for excellence in our community colleges, and just how critically important that is.
It is, and I commend and congratulate the League and your board and all of your Alliance members for embracing this and taking it on as something to be continued for eons down the road.
Well, Dr. Roueche, thank you so much for the examples that you and Dr. Swan Roueche have set, for your leadership, for your contributions, and also for your tremendous and long partnership with the League for Innovation. And so we are honored to have launched the inaugural John and Swan Roueche Excellence Awards at this year's Innovations Conference in Dallas, and we look forward to many, many years of good work together in celebrating excellence in our staff, in our faculty, and in our community colleges.
Thank you, Gerardo. It's a great pleasure for us, and we look forward to making it even more successful.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.